Wow. That was amazing. A-class. All right, don't mind him. He's frozen right now. But can I get a little more of that history?
You know, as a child, I was raised here in Brewerytown. As a matter of fact, we're talking about less than 100 steps from where we are right now. And coming up in 1965, 66, there wasn't much to do with teenagers. You know, a lot of kids who didn't have education, didn't have skills, didn't have a trade, didn't play ball, wasn't into entertainment, didn't really have an outlet. And as a juvenile delinquent, I have a defined disorder. And I took matters in my own hands because I didn't have the proper guidance as far as having a father figure in my house. You know, we were raised in church, and my grandparents were like God-fearing individuals, and they were really soft-spoken and mild-mannered. And I was like a wayward individual, and I took matters in my own hands, practically marched to the beat of my own drum. And I did things that really I wanted to do. I didn't have somebody to kick my ass. And I was put away at a young age. And there, while I was incarcerated at, I met Mr. Swanson, who was the head chef at the facility, Youth Development Center. And a lot of times when we went to the cafeteria, I would ask Mr. Swanson, would he consider putting cornbread on the menu? Because a lot of times when our unit got to the cafeteria, the bread was stale, it was hard. And I took my tray in the back of the kitchen and I asked the kitchen workers, who's the guy in charge? He said, Mr. Swanson. I said, I'd like to speak to Mr. Swanson. He said, well, his office right there. I go and knock on his door, and I said, Mr. Swanson, I'd like to talk to you about you putting some cornbread on the menu. And the first thing Mr. Swanson asked me was, who gave you permission to come into my kitchen? I said, nobody. He said, well, what you had to say, make it quick, I'm a busy person. I said, well, my grandma makes the best cornbread in the world, and I was wondering, would you consider, on a trial basis, putting some cornbread on our menu? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, we don't make no fucking cornbread. Get your ass out of my kitchen and don't come back here again. You're wasting my time. Take a walk. So I left. 2 days later, I was back in Mr. Swanson's kitchen again. And he got kind of furious. He said, I don't have time for your bullshit. Get your ass out of my kitchen. You come back here again, it's gonna be something. I left. I knew I was getting on Mr. Swanson's nerves. So I came back the third time. This time when I walked in the kitchen worker said, hey, Mr. Swanson, your boy's here. He said, my boy who? Your boy Cornbread. He said, come here, man. So I walked over to him, he gripped me up, man. He said, what I tell you about harassment about some this cornbread bullshit? Come on, let's go, take a walk. And he walked me and told me to walk to the cafeteria where he was sitting at, and he told my counselor, Mr. Luff, keep this cornbread out my kitchen, and threw me on the floor. So everybody started laughing at me, teasing me, and taunting me. And I didn't mind them calling me cornbread. It was like cornbread, teasing me. I didn't mind them calling me cornbread. In fact, when I got to my unit, I wrote cornbread in the back of my shirt. And then when I see the gang members' names on the walls, I would write my name next to theirs. I befriended these guys because I wrote poetry and love letters to the girlfriends for them. I used to read poetry books and read the love letters that my brother girlfriends used to write him. And that stuck with me. I was enamored by poetry. So I became friends with these guys, and I wrote my name not just on the walls, but in the cafeteria, in the gym, the administration, the classroom, the books, and billboards, and visitor. I wrote mine. I really, they thought I suffered from a mental deficit. When you walked in Youth Development Center, all you seen was cornbread. And the white folks is like, they clamored me for that. They gave me respect for that. They recognized that. And I seen the attention I received from that. When I came home in '67, I started taking it to the streets and the walls. The same concept I had at the Development Center, I took it to the streets. The word graffiti was not even being used. The word hip hop was not part of America's vocabulary. But I became the world's first modern day graffiti artist because there was no other graffiti artist in the world who wrote his name on the wall like I did. I did it for the sole purpose of establishing reputation. And during that time, Philadelphia teenagers in Philadelphia underwent a unique experience unlike any other city in America. We're talking about close to 150,000 teenagers involved themselves in social uprise. And we adopted college fraternity names to identify ourselves. We replaced the gangs that controlled the streets. We had clubs all over the city, North Philly, West Philly, South Philly, Germantown, all over the city. These clubs start coming out. We adopted college fraternity names, and our annual convention was in Atlantic City before the casinos came. And you talking about 150,000 teenagers in Atlantic City consuming all the hotels. That was the first wave of the hip hop revolution. When our movement migrated and got to New York put a title on it and called it what? Hip hop. But the foundation was already established here in Philadelphia. The graffiti artist was already established here in Philadelphia. When it got to New York is the media capital of the world. Anything happens in New York, it's magnified. We didn't get the attention that the graffiti writers got in New York, but we established a foundation.
Oh, yo, we gotta put this on a website at.
I got a funky, funky rhyme.